Hi, my name is Jim Bennett, and I'm a Nordic ski coach with the Rochester Nordic Ski Team. And the reason I'm making this video today is to show you the 5 fundamental movements of cross-country skiing. So those 5 movements are, number 1, fundamental body position, number 2, the upper body crunch, number 3, the arm extension and arm swing, number 4, lateral side-to-side motion, and number 5, extension. So I'm going to go through them individually, and then we'll kind of roll them together and do the movements together. And a great way to watch this video is to, basically set yourself up where you got plenty of room and do what I'm doing and see if you can do the same motions with me, right? So the first one's fundamental body position, and this is a relaxed position with your shoulders rolled forward. People talk about looking like a gorilla, and I like to think it's sort of like if somebody was going to throw a basketball to you, particularly a heavy basketball. What would you do? You would get in a crouch, you get your arms forward, like you're going to catch the ball, right? And you're also going to keep your weight forward. So if you do this, if you think about a heavy ball, what happens? Your weight shifts up to the balls of your feet. And that's where we want to be in cross-country skiing. Almost always, the weight is going to be on the balls of your feet or slightly behind that, right? So you should think about be ready to catch a really, really heavy ball, right? And the other thing is your hips should be forward. Now you're going to hear this in cross-country skiing a lot, and it's kind of confusing because you can't move your hips forward without moving your other body parts, right? What we mean by hips forwards, if I sort of sit back, you see how my hips go back, or I push my hips forward, right? So when I get in that fundamental body position, my hips come forward, right? And that, maybe an easier way to think about it is driving your knees forward. That puts the weight on the balls of your feet. So hips forward, arms rolled forward like a gorilla, right? Going to catch a ball. That's number 1, the fundamental body position, right? And this athletic position is used for a lot of sports, so a lot of you are probably familiar with this, okay? All right, so let's talk about the second one, and these aren't, the order's not really important on these, but I'm going to say the second one is the crunch. So the crunch, think about having a string from roughly your chin to your belt buckle, right? And that string tightens and loosens, all right? So if you do this from the side, your body's going to be making, upper body is going to be making a C. It's going to look like a C, right? So the crunch is here. Now contrast that to a crunch at the waist, right? So a lot of new skiers will do this, right? They crunch at the waist. Okay, that's not a very powerful position. Okay, we get the power from the crunch up here. Another way to think about it is sucking your belly button in, okay? All right, so let's do this. Let's get in the fundamental body position, right? And now let's crunch at the waist, okay? You can also think of this as ski small, ski tall, ski small, ski tall. Okay, we're crunching at the waist, crunch at the waist. Okay, pretty simple, right? Okay. Okay, so now let's put a little arm swing in here. So the arm swing in cross-country skiing comes mostly from your shoulder, and you want to think of it as a pendulum, long swing. Okay, I do an arm swing like this, right? Now, however, when your arm comes up, it should be relatively perpendicular to the ground. So your arm doesn't swing up like this, it swings up like this. Okay, that's a power position, okay? Okay, so let's do the arm swing, just the arm swing. Long pendulum swing, long pendulum swing. Okay, long pendulum swing, okay? Got it, right? Okay, now let's do this with a crunch, shall we? Crunch, 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 crunch. Ski tall, ski small, ski tall, ski small, ski tall, ski small, ski tall, ski small, tall, small, tall, small, tall, small. Great, everybody got that? Okay, so we've done the arm position, and we've done the crunch, and we've done the fundamental body position, okay? So now it's going to get a little bit harder. We're going to start putting in the side-to-side motion, which is where the weight transfer comes in cross-country skiing. So the side-to-side motion happens at the hips, okay? So I want you to think about the term vertical zipper. So imagine my zipper here. If I was perfect at this, I would keep my zipper vertical. Or another way to think about it, if I had a string in my mouth with a little washer on the end, the string would just go back and forth. It wouldn't swing, okay? Okay, so the weight shift occurs at the hips. Contrast that to this, okay? And you're going to see skiers doing all kinds of stuff like this, okay? And usually this happens because the skier's trying to get their weight over this foot, over here. So what they do is they get out over here, right? Okay, that's not the way to ski. Okay, it's like a tipping windmill. That's not proper weight transfer. Proper weight transfer is at the hips. Okay, like this. And we're trying to achieve a vertical zipper. Okay, and then you can throw a little hop in at the end of it if you want. Okay, so we're doing weight transfer from the hips. Okay, you got that? Okay, let's go back. Let's start our arm swing. Okay, let's start the arm swing. Let's put the crunch into it now. Crunch into it. Okay, arm swing and crunch. Arm swing and crunch. Now we're going to have to do the side, side, side. So now we've got the arm swing, crunch, and transfer at the hips. Now one thing I didn't tell you about is your head position, okay? So a couple things about the head. Your head generally is looking forward and somewhat down, right? So it's not down here. And when you're doing your crunch, it's not going here. Nor is your head going side to side, right? And it's not tipping, okay? In general, in cross-country skiing, where your eyes go, your head goes. Where your head goes, your body goes. So if you're looking off into the woods, you're going to go off into the woods. If you're looking at the ground in front of you, you probably will be on the ground in front of you sooner or later, right? So you look maybe, depending on your speed, maybe 8 or 10 feet in front of you, maybe 20 feet. You keep your eyes forward, keep your head forward, and keep your head from bobbing back and back, okay? All right, so the last fundamental movement is extension. And really the simplest way to think of extension is just think about your hands and think about letting go of your ski poles, okay? You want to let go of your ski poles at the end. And if you do that, it'll force you to put your arms back. That allows the blood that's accumulated in your fingers to make its way back up to your heart. So it's good for perfusion of your tissues, right? So when we go down, we want to let go of your poles, right? Okay? Okay? So do the arm swing with extension. We're really going to do the same thing with your feet when you're skiing, but that's a little hard to do without skis on, okay? So let's do all the motions, okay? Let's start with a crunch. Crunch. Okay? Let's put the arm motions in with the crunch. Okay, now let's put the lateral motions in. Okay, now let's get extension. 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 Okay. Should be doing them all right now. I'm going to tell you that the ski step you're doing right now is actually a V2 alt. We're down on one ski, up on the other, down on that ski. Okay, and that's going to be the motion you're going to be doing most of the time when you're skiing. So this little drill we just did will kind of help you work right into your V2 alt. So that's the 5 fundamental motions of skiing. It's a good thing to practice on your own. You can do this before practice, or just anytime you feel like you're kind of losing track of where you're supposed to be. Thank you.
Sorry, I wasn't right there.